You're the first person that we've had on the show that deals with tattoo supplies.
Well, I'm honored. I'm honored to be here.
No, great to have you, man.
Cool.
So for those that don't know you, let them know your name, where you're from, how long you've been tattooing, what kind of tattoos you do, and all about your tattoo supply company.
My name's Frank Porcelli. I'm originally from New Jersey. Grew up in New Jersey, but I moved to Washington, and I currently live in Tacoma, Washington. I have a tattoo shop out there. I've been tattooing since 2010, so 15 years, and I primarily do traditional tattoos, but I do regular tattoos.
What is a regular tattoo?
I would classify that as just a regular walk-in, lettering or whatever, Pinterest or what,
Quick bangers, like whatever it may be.
Yeah.
It's funny, in my mind, a traditional tattoo is a regular tattoo.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe.
but I got what he meant. He
Yeah.
he meant more like a normie tattoo.
Yeah.
Like a basic tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a regular tattoo.
Regular
It could be a rose. It would be more regular, but
There's levels to this shit.
Yeah, there is levels to this. I feel like people come in and get like, oh, I just want to get this little initial. That's a most basic little tattoo
Yeah.
ever.
It's a regular tattoo.
That's
Yeah.
a regular
Yeah.
or
tattoo.
the, jump man.
I love
whatever. It's not
yeah.
traditional. I don't know what it is. I guess it's more tribal because it's all black, but
I worked with a girl years ago, shout out to Ida May. She used to say, I want my tattoos to look like tattoos.
Yeah.
And to me, she's talking about traditional.
Yeah, more than likely.
To me, whenever somebody says, I want tattoos to look, I think something with an outline on it.
Yeah.
With a definitive, strong outline. And then it looks like a tattoo to me.
Sure.
If not, it just looks like something on your skin. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The funny thing about Ida, though, is her tattoos were not traditional at all.
Not trendy at all.
No, they were like very painterly, loose, kind of almost abstract.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So she was trying hard. I could just picture like something like super like watercolory, but with a strong bold black. Right. Boom, it looks like a tat now, dude. It looks sick, man.
yeah.
I had an opportunity to kind of move to the West Coast, but it was so different for like tattoo wise, like what people like, what people want, and like culturally.
Yeah.
It felt like so different that it was a little scary.
See, but that's could be a good thing though.
Could be a good
you
thing.
Bring a little bit of an East Coast flavor, and I don't want to say that I'm doing anything really special or anything like that. I'm not. I'm just doing tattoos, but I think we have definitely a little bit of an East Coast flavor as far as a traditional style where it's really, really stripped down.
Yeah.
Bare bones, Bowery, we all love that stuff. We're all heavily influenced by New York traditional tattooing.
Yeah.
That's really what turned me on to traditional tattooing was the Vice we were talking about with Dan Santoro.
Yeah.
But came out in 2010-ish.
Yep.
And that's when I
was
first
a
started
good one.
tattooing. That blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. I saw that. I was like, this is the best thing ever. But where I was tattooing, it was very beach town, touristy. So you really made a lot of your money in the summer, and in the winter you didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
But it was always like just touristy stuff. You did traditional tattoo on your friend for free because you just didn't. Nobody was asking for that.
Yeah.
What was the beach touristy tattoo in 2010?
Then infinity symbols, bird silhouettes, lettering, lots of lettering.
Arrow, right?
Arrow. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, the arrows.
I want an arrow.
Forgot about the arrow.
Dude, we were talking to somebody and they mentioned, how and sometimes in small towns, like those things catch on like later, you know? It's almost like like popular music in Europe, right?
Yeah.
Like some shit you'll go to Europe and you're like, this is hot right now. Like this was hot back home like 6 months ago.
Exactly.
Like it's always like a little bit behind.
That was last summer's hit.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, it's
totally
popping
true.
now.
Yeah.
And I feel like that happens with tattoos too. Like he mentioned that like in small towns, are like people are like, oh man, I really want to get this mandala, and you're like, oh, 2019.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those moments. So then, after how long? After being in Tacoma and having your shop, did you decide I want to do a tattoo supply?
Well, I didn't have a shop when I moved out there. I started working for. There was a shop downtown Tacoma that was hiring, and I worked over there. Completely different type of, because even at the shop on the Eastern Shore, crush and flash racks, all that kind of stuff. But this shop was totally different. No flash. The owner straight up told me that flash makes a shop look dirty, and he had that mentality. Wanted it really
Blasphemy.
fancy or whatever, and I was like, that's probably one of the craziest things I ever heard. You know what I mean? Like I paint flash. Like it was really kind of, it was really, really insulting, but I didn't understand that was insulting. I'm like,
Yeah.
I paint flash, and he doesn't paint flash. He doesn't know how to paint flash. It just didn't really make any sense, but I slowly converted it over, where I was like, let me hang up some flash here, whatever. And I started hanging up flash, and then eventually it was crushed in flash. And I had, the actual rows of flash where you push the frame up and out, like old school.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was crushed. And
It's a sick setup. I like the way it looks when you do that.
very nice and clean and uniform. Everything looks great. So I built all that, because I'm really a carpenter too. That's mainly what I did before I started tattooing. So I built all those. So I worked at a different shop. The two converged together in a really weird way, where I wanted to open up the supply shop, and it was like a year in the making of doing, research and going through different samples. It takes a really long time. Build a website, and I didn't have anyone helping me. So I did it all by myself, and it just took a long time. And it was like a year in the making. And when it started kind of becoming a thing, like boxes are coming in with the logo, and it's really kind of solidifying as it's going to be a company. It wasn't working out. He wanted to be a part of it. I didn't want him to be a part of it, the owner of the shop. And I was like, I guess I got to leave, which is unfortunate because I'm about to open up this supply company so at the same time, and I had two people. I had Alex and Matt. I taught both of them how to tattoo. Alex kind of was already tattooing, but didn't really know how to tattoo. I taught him how to tattoo, taught Matt how to tattoo. I told them I'm leaving, and they were like, well, we're going to leave too. And so they both were leaving. So I had two guys that I needed to take care of too as I was leaving. So I had a supply shop about to launch, and that would have been not last December, but the December before that. And then November was when I told him, I was like, I'm going to roll out. And I had to get a lease. I had, all the things you need to do to get a tattoo shop, on top of, I already lined up everything, big orders, like tens of thousands of dollars with the needles and everything coming in. It was crazy. It's just like how it all just swirled into this, like, I don't know how I'm going to do all this.
That seemed like a stressful moment.
It was insane. And I had 2 weeks to open up the shop because, not only that for myself, I have two guys that work for me that, because I took them on and I was willing, I was showing them, how to tattoo or whatever, and wanting them to build a career. I feel the burden of that as far as wanting to make sure they're okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately I don't think is very popular in tattooing right now, but they're like my kids almost. I feel like, unless they're going to do their own thing, okay, whatever. If you're going to come work with me, I want to make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
You're making money. So that means I have 2 weeks to open up a tattoo shop, because you're not going to go longer than 2 weeks without tattooing. Right. You're 20 something years old or whatever. So it was very stressful. And then funny story. Not only on top of that, when I made the order for the needles and the cartridges from the manufacturer, they were getting delivered to the tattoo shop, the old tattoo shop.
no.
Because you got to order it. You got to order it 6 months in advance.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
I was
yeah.
ordering
Those orders early.
$50,000 worth
Wow.
of needles and cartridges.
Holy crap.
That's how big the order was.
Yeah.
And it was all getting delivered to a shop where the guy didn't want me there. And I had to sit out there. I sat across the street because it's like a UPS. It's by ship, and then it gets on UPS California up, and UPS isn't going to tell you the exact time they're coming. Mm-hmm. I just had to sit there, and like I just had to sit there. And he didn't, he basically hated me at that point because I was leaving, and I didn't want it to be that way. I told him, I was like, I like to come here and get tattooed and be friends still, but he didn't want to, whatever. But anyway, I was
So you
sitting
were
across the
sitting
street
across
waiting.
the street. Did he know that you were there?
No, he dude, and he wouldn't answer me.
Dang.
He he blocked me or whatever. So.
What did the UPS guy say when you like came out from behind the cars or
Well,
whatever?
I have a big work van.
Jump out of the bushes.
Basically, I waited until the UPS, any UPS truck was pulling up, and just like got out of my van, run up there. Is this for Frank Porcelli? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, you need to load that up in my van, dude, and don't bring it into the shop because that guy's. I don't know what he's gonna do. He might, I don't know, smash something. I don't know. Anything could happen. I don't think he would have, but it was still really weird. And then they're like, well, I have to go into the shop and ask them, and then he loaded it up in my van. I just left.
Nice.
But it was like
Uncomfortable.
on top of everything else that's happening. I'm like, okay, I guess I got to deal with this too.
Yeah.
Oh shit, man.
All right.
When you wanted to make your brand, what was the motivation from it? I mean, like, was it? I've never thought about getting into the tattoo supply business. I've never even considered it. How did it come for you?
Well, I mean, when I first moved to Washington, I thought there's a lot of shops out here, like it would be cool to have one because I like the mechanics of tattooing a lot. Just like I love tattooing, but I think I see tattooers and like I feel like tattooers have a pie chart of tattooing, of like what is your pie chart of tattooing involved with that. Some people are really into art or go to art school, whatever. I know that everybody has their own thing. Like I know Robbie at Explosive, he's like very much into art, biomech, whatever. Like, and every tattooer is kind of different in a way, and they have a pie chart, and whatever your pie chart is. A big part of my pie chart is mechanics. Like I like 2 years into tattooing, things are slow at the shop, and at Explosive, they had a little back room where you could work on machines, and that Alex Rice, he moved, he doesn't live there anymore, but Alex Rice showed me how to braze frames and stuff, and like if it were slow, we'd go in the back and just cut up frames and braze them and all that kind of stuff. So, that's like, I have a construction background too. So I was like, I'm mechanically inclined, I guess. So I haven't, like, the mechanics is like a big part of my pie chart, which I feel like supplies are kind of lumped into that category, in a way, you know, like I like talking about different needles and different, different pin sizes and whatever. When people come into the shop and they're like, yeah, I need to get something for this or whatever, like a local tattooer is going to come in and they want to buy supplies. I'll sit and talk with them for like 3 hours about different needles and stuff because I'm that interested into it just as much as tattooing. If a client comes in and they want to have whatever, they're working on a traditional sleeve, I'm like, well, this shape would look better here. It's the same thing for me. I think the same way, especially with machines. I'm like obsessed with coil machines, and that's kind of part of it. Yeah. Where I was like, there's a lot of tattooers out here, and I was selling machines to local tattooers, and I would go into shops with a case of machines, and you know what I mean? Like I already was familiar with some of them, so that kind of got it going in a way where I was like,
you started building relationship with like your local tattooers and stuff like that, and see they're like, oh man, they like machines. What else can I supply for them for?
Yeah.
You were building these machines?
Yeah. Oh,
were you making the frames too?
Yeah. From scratch. I have a machine shop. I have a mill and a bandsaw. I have a lathe too, but I don't really use it. That much. It's not worth my time running a lathe to make a coil core. It's just not worth it. I just buy coil cores.
Yeah, there's so many.
It's just ridiculous.
There's so many well-made ones out there already.
Yeah. AMR is like for sure the top
I've
manufacturer.
been following that page for like
Yeah, he makes the best coil cores. If anyone's
ages.
interested in that, but pure iron coil cores, armature bars. But yeah, I have a machine shop next to the tattoo shop. I have 3 units where I'm renting right now. One's the tattoo shop. That's the biggest one. I have a little like 200 square foot machine shop. And in front of that is a supply shop. It's like, I forget the square footage, but it's like all the supplies are in there. So it's like a one-stop shop, really. You need to get your machine worked on, whatever. You know, I got the machine shop too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What is Tacoma like? Is it? It's not city. Is it like a suburb? Is it like a country? Like, what does it look?
I mean, there's a downtown, you know, there's like cool venues, music, like there's a cool music scene. Yeah. It's like a small city, I guess. I think the population's similar to Portland, maybe.
okay,
But there's definitely outskirts, you know.
good brunch.
Yeah. Pretty good food. Sure it could be better. But Tacoma's, it's very military. There's a lot of military there, which I think is probably, it definitely is part of the, what makes tattooing there so awesome is because of the military, really. For sure. Oh, big time. Yeah, JBLM. I mean, I'd say probably 75% of our clients are all in the military or some version of that, Air Force.
That's kind of so sick, dude.
Yeah,
It's
Navy.
I would
great.
love to tattoo soldiers all the
It's-
goddamn time. That just sounds like great.
It's a good thing.
Like-
There's a lot of like American. There's a lot of American tattoo artists that they tattoo abroad, like in different countries around the world, and they do very well tattooing near like
Bases.
bases, American bases especially, doing traditional work, and they fucking making killing.
Yeah, they just rack.
And they're just constantly, and also like a lot of like like when they also do a lot of Japanese like type of traditional tattooing, it looks they kill it. They kill it. The soldiers and everyone that's in the service all around the globe, they're
The shop I was at before here was not too far from West Point. And we used to tattoo the West Point rugby players all the time. They would come down. Yeah. And like every new year.
I mean,
like the new,
New group, like we're
group.
getting this.
dude, they were all monsters. They were
Yeah, I
huge.
bet, dude.
They would get a rugby ball on their thigh with a K-bar piercing through it and then a band of letters going around their thigh like a garter belt.
Yeah.
And when you stretch out these letters, it's like this long.
so yeah, it's a huge tat, dude. On
Those guys
a
are
big,
so
on a
big.
big person. Oh,
It's
man,
crazy. That's good.
Like 2 feet long.
that's crazy, dude.
Dude, fucking, how far are you guys from Vancouver? Not too far, right?
Not too far, probably, man, because Bellingham is like 2 hours north, and that's like right there. But
Dude, that part
2-3
of
hours.
Canada, I've never been to the part of the U.S., but I've been to Vancouver and that part of Canada. It's so beautiful up there. Dude.
oh god, yeah. I mean,
It's nature.
Washington in general, it's like if you're into hiking and all that kind of stuff,
That's what
it's
you
got to
wanna
be one of the best in the country.
Too many Subaru Outbacks spread around.
It looks otherworldly when I've seen like documentaries
It's crazy.
of like their forest.
There's no mountains over here
like,
that
oh,
even comes close.
Yeah.
Or it's really weird because for 4 months you won't see the sky at all. For 4 months straight.
Why?
Wow. It's cloudy.
Cloudy.
And then all of a sudden it gets nice out and you see Mount Rainier and you're like,
Whoa.
This is the
That's been there the whole
craziest
time, dude?
yeah. It's like you forget almost because you don't see it for literally at least 4 months.
That's wild.
insane.
Oh, you better be taking vitamin D and all that if you're living out there.
If not, depression sets in. It's like dark.
Seriously.
Too much.
It's almost it gets to a point, October rolls in or whatever, starts getting cloudy. It doesn't rain as much as people think.
Yeah.
It rains way more here. It dumps rain.
Yeah.
Out there it doesn't really rain that much, but everything's really wet all the time and it's cloudy, so you just don't see the sun. That's the part that gets you.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like by the last month you're like, I don't know if I could do it.
I don't know if I can do this one more year,
The
dude.
sun comes out and
You're like,
and it's the best weather you've ever been in, though. It's
yeah.
it's dry. It's not super humid. It doesn't get crazy hot. I have one AC unit in my whole house, I have a 3-bedroom house, you know. I have one in my living room. That's it.
Wow.
Damn.
And for 3 or 4 months, it's just best weather you ever lived in your whole life.
Yeah.
Fucking
But,
sick.
yeah.
Wow.
But then, yeah, all the mountains and everything. Anyone that's into hiking, it's like one of the places you got to go, really.
Right, man.
I'm not into hiking. I'm into being alone in the machine shop.
Just tinkering like a
I'm a
goblin.
tinkerer.
Yeah, like
I mean, like thinking about what you said about like every tattooer kind of has a pie chart of like, it's almost like describing the tattooer as like, you know, to me, like I always go to the RPG character, you know, you know, there's the tat wizard, you know, and then there's like the one that wants to like the weapons, you know, specialist,
the
that
little
knows-
blacksmith.
yeah, the blacksmith ones and knows how to make everything. And I feel like a good tattoo shop or a team has a little bit of each one.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Or you have some more extroverted people, more introverted people, whatever, people that are really good at talking to people, and you have people that are really just like not so good at talking to people, but they're good people. And
Yeah.
they do a good tattoo, and you know, everybody brings something different to the table.
Yeah.
I think for me, I just love working on machines. I love talking about needles or learning, you know, new stuff about that. That's just part of my tattooing. You know, I'm not like overly creative or painterly. I just feel like I'm a regular tattooer that could do a good tattoo. You know, I'm definitely one of the opinion that tattooing is way more firstly a craft than it is art, because people like 50 tattooing, or, you know, if you look up any of these, like there's a lot of people in South Korea that do really awesome traditional tattoos, and they're like insanely stripped down. Like they'll draw like the most crude drawing of like the Terminator, but they tattoo it perfect.
Yeah.
And you're like, best thing I ever seen in my life.
Yeah, they just simplify this
It's the
shit
best
out
thing I
of
ever
it.
seen in my life.
Yeah.
I love that. And that was kind of the Santoro thing. You see the frog on the mushroom or whatever, and you're like, that's the crudest drawing I've ever seen in my life. But so
That's
clean.
But that's not easy to do.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
No.
No,
To
it's
take
not.
a complicated object and simplify it and still make it legible, it's not easy.
Yeah.
And I
It's like-
love doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I love doing that.
Because then when you're like, oh, I can do that, and then you try to do that, and it doesn't look as organic, it doesn't look as folky right off the bat, like instinctual.
That's one thing that is an art form all in itself, really, is taking a picture, even a real picture of something, and turning it into a traditional, really good, nice flow nice, it has a full feeling to it, shaded right, even just the lines and the layout, stripping down a woman's face, a real woman's face, or a real pinup into a pinup, and shading it a certain way and leaving the skin breaks where it needs to be, whatever. That's hard. You
Yeah.
know? And I mean, that's art, really a hard form on itself. I love doing that though.
I think the hardest part of that with the lady head is the hair.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to
Do
simplify.
simple hair, but it looks still like the hair.
It still looks like the do of the photo.
The photo, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's really hard. But
Some of that stuff can get really smart without you even knowing how complex it really is.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that looks simple enough, but the construction of that design, you know, sometimes like when I started tattooing into realism. And then I was like, oh, why the fuck do I want to do those stupid cartoons?
Cartoons, bro.
And then I started trying to like actually do traditional tattoos. And it was so challenging that I was like, oh, fuck. Like I was talking so much shit and it's like kicking my ass. So I gained the respect for it. And then I really started like getting into it. Like the machine aspects of it.
Look at you now.
yeah, you mostly post traditional stuff, a lot of stuff on your Instagram. It really is
Yeah.
all traditional stuff.
And because I'm like, at the end of the day, I was, you know, maybe some people out there are just killing it traditional so good that they're like, this shit's easy. But for me, it was like, oh, this shit is tough. So I want to like get better at it.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I'm the opposite. I did way later on. Did some. I just wanted to do it for myself. Do some realistic tattoos, and it was definitely hard. You know, I don't want to say it's easy. It's
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
but
it's hard.
And I don't. I don't use iPads. And none of us at the shop use iPads. We all draw and use Coil machines still. So doing it that way is also really hard.
Really hard.
Doing a portrait, which I feel like portraits aren't really that popular anymore, really. Like, not like it used to be.
Dude,
but
no. I mean, yeah, I agree with you.
I had to really convince people to be like, hey, let me do a portrait on your leg.
Yeah.
And it was like, nah, because I thought it was gonna be bad. It's just they were like, I don't know who would I get a portrait of. I'm like, well, just get a a gangster or whatever. I want to do John Dillinger. Let me do John Dillinger. Okay. And doing it all with pencil, and the hand stencil.
Yeah.
That made me kind of understand if you're primarily doing realism, what would make using an iPad it would make it way easier.
Yep.
It's so hard
Dude, that's still a hand
to
stencil.
print out a really good picture of that and then make a stencil
Make a
from
stencil out of it.
by hand was that was actually the hardest part. Doing the tattoo, if you know how to build up gray and if you could do like a no outline tattoo and you're good at shading, that's really even easier than actually making the stencil.
Watching
so hard.
Joshua Carlton's DVD on how he made stencils back in the day changed my opinion about like doing black and gray tattoos. You ever see that one where
No, I don't remember that one.
he goes into like how to actually make a high contrast reference,
Okay.
and he doesn't just outline, like he'll hand stencil everything, but he won't just outline the basic shapes. He'll actually start shading in and cross hatching his stencil, and when you put the stencil on, it's almost like a fully rendered.
You already have like your kind of values
So
study there already.
He was manually doing what the Epson printers are now doing.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, though, they have printers like
Yeah.
that
now
now.
they have
Yeah.
a printer that just does that for you.
That's crazy.
But you know what? That's not the same though, because when the printer does it for you, you don't have that that rough draft already embedded in your brain of like, all right, this is how I'm going to do it. I've already practiced this.
Yeah, true. There's a little more like
Also
method
true.
step.
Yeah.
Which I think I get personally using. I mean, we primarily do traditional stuff, and the shop is crushed in flash, and at least half of it's hand painted by us. So we're like heavy into that, like big time. I don't paint as much as everyone else, but I don't have as much time. But I still try to paint like 10 sheets a year, like 14 by 11, like real sheets. And Alex and Matt paint way more. Alex is like crazy meticulous about painting flash. He's so good at it. But I think when you do it by hand on paper, even if it's lettering, I like to do the 3-pass rule only. If I go much more than that, it gets too stiff, kind of.
What do you mean?
What's the 3-pass roll?
Like if you, especially with lettering or anything that flows a certain way, you do a rough drawing, another one, and then
Something
a final,
loose, right?
Yeah.
Or at least by the fourth, it should be the final. Because
Yeah.
if you start getting it you do too many passes, it kind of gets too rigid on paper. Anyway, on paper for me, that's how you want to have a certain flow to it and look like it's flowing. I
know exactly what you mean.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
It might be different
like
on an iPad.
Yeah, like it goes from first instinctual to like then you're really trying to like like you said, it becomes too stiff when you're trying to perfect it too much.
If I get to 6, I put it down for a minute
You're like,
and
it's
I will
over.
just start completely over.
Yeah.
I would argue that on the iPad, it makes it even stiffer faster because too many artists are having their brushes streamlined, which means that like they'll make a curve, but the iPad will try to like smooth it out. So you won't have that like natural gesture to it. It'll straighten the curve out a little bit, and it won't give you the natural arc that your hand is making.
Correct.
You do that more than twice, and now your line's not nearly as natural as it was in the first place.
Dude, that just clicked for me because I know exactly the motion or the correction that you're talking about because I've seen it on people's iPads when they're gesturing like circles or curves or just like fast movements like that where it'll just like stabilize everything or just like, I don't know, make it, I can't even explain it to words, like make it perfect.
You got it right. Stabilize it.
Right? So that
when I watch
it
some
loses
people-
that like effortlessness that the human
when I watch some people drawing like their videos on YouTube or on Instagram, and I see their hand, but the line that they're making is not where their hand is going because the iPad is trying to correct it for them.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts.
You're like, ugh.
You're like,
But can you turn that off or something?
You can, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not.
I think it's cool to have a little bit of that on,
Yeah.
but some people just turn it up to the max.
Yeah. Because it kind of takes you right out the gate to step 2 almost.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Really. But what I was gonna say, when you do that by hand, you make the stencil. I like to make a finalized line drawing on paper because when I was first getting tattooed, that was like magic to me when the tattooer would show me the line drawing, and it was like so mint, you know. It blew me away. I don't know how. I was like, how could you do that? How could you do that with a mechanical pencil? I really thought it was like magic, you know. It was just blew my mind. So being able to do that, I still love the feeling of making it.
Hold on one second. Is his camera, did you kick his camera? Is his camera even looking at him right now?
He's still on it, but it did change. It did move. It wasn't like that.
Could you
before.
straighten his camera out?
You kick it.
did I kick it?
Yeah, you must have. Because it looks like it's pointing out into the corner right now.
Now it's pointing to the corner.
I
Yeah,
don't remember stretching out, but
How's that?
a little bit too much. Give it a tiny bit more to
for sure.
tiny bit. That's it. Perfect. Now it's back to our way.
He's in the
Cool,
center
cool,
now?
Now he's centered up perfect.
I don't even know how long ago that happened. I just saw that. I was like, what is that camera pointing at
Where's
right
it
now?
going? Was it when we stood up?
Oh, that could have
maybe.
been. That could have been because I was like, I don't remember kicking it.
You kicked it.
Damn it, kid.
Well, you
Not
kicked
like,
it.
yeah, like it's actually far away. It's far away. It's far away.
Yeah, dude. Fucking man, I saw a couple of videos this week about just people creating like new flash sheets on iPads and stuff like that. But I think like doing it on paper, you just capture that. And I saw a post from Danny. From
Danny G?
Danny G.
And he mentioned that he showed this like flash sheet that he did. It's pretty big. He said that he found like this big piece of paper at an art store. And then when he started like he felt that, oh, this is looking cool. And then he started doing more designs on this sheet. And then the sheet wasn't great. Like some of the things started kind of, spreading a little bit. But at the end, he just kept going with it. He said like, man, by the end of the sheet, I really actually loved all the imperfections of each design in this sheet because the paper is not like the perfect paper,
Right.
but it just feels, it has character.
Yeah.
And I think like that's sometimes what gets lost in those like flash sheets that you see that are just like perfectly iPad clean.
Yeah.
I think with traditional tattoo, it just doesn't get any better than it being real. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think you can really compare the two. I think with different art is different art. Like I said, if someone was doing something realistic, I totally can understand that. It makes sense. Or you're doing little pinchers or whatever. But if it's like a real stripped down, you're trying to do like really stripped down traditional tattoos. I get it. It's faster and it's easier to put up online and people to see the design. That's really what it is. But
Yeah.
when it's hanging up on the wall and you did that, it doesn't really get any better than that. I don't know what could get better, really.
I mean, the crowd would agree. Like the viewership would agree.
Well, there's a
When
niche in that now, I
Like,
think.
when I see reels, in comparison with like somebody tracing over, like making a final outline on like a final layer of like an iPad where you're doing a black outline, like I don't feel that's as cool as like when I'm looking at someone that's like over a light pad tracing with a marker. There's just something about that. Like you almost hear like the nib scraping on the surface of the paper as it just, I don't know. It's just, I could
do all that with sound effects.
Yeah. It's like Tesla's having real motor sounds.
Or when you're using a rotary on TV
And I've said this, I've said this many times before, and I'm not against technology because, it really does like cut a lot of corners and makes things a lot easier, which is great because, easier means we have more time, to do other things. but there's definitely always going to be something to be said about like just like classic style, like mocking up a stencil or an outline on paper, you know, and tracing paper, and then making like a super crispy solid stencil. It's just a line drawing, you know.
Well,
and
I think it's
magical to me too.
It is magic when you look at it and you're like, dude, where did you stop and start a line? It doesn't. That doesn't apply, I guess, necessarily as much, you know, on a computer. But if you do that on Flash, especially with Flash, but even on regular paper with a mechanical pencil, there is a little bit of that magic. Because if you look at it and you're like, I don't know where you stopped to start at a line. I mean, that's amazing. That's cool. And it applies to the tattoo as well. That's why, in my mind, it makes me feel good about the tattoo, knowing I really took the time to sit and do the line drawing on paper and do it a certain way, and it burns it in my mind almost. That it gives you a sense of confidence, like when you go to do a tattoo and you have a certain machine that you've used and you know it's going to do what you want it to do. You have confidence in that machine. You know, if you build tattoo machines, there's almost nothing comparable to that feeling of like, I built this machine from scratch. I know exactly what it's going to do. It's my go-to machine. I've been using it for 5 years. It's not a thought in your mind. You just know
this is good.
And if it isn't, I know exactly what I need to do to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's same thing with the line drawing. You have to hold the mechanical pencil a certain way for it, like, you know, if you're going to do a line drawing and you want in a traditional tattoo, you want all the line weights to be exactly the same. There's no varying line weights in what I would say is like a real stripped down, real traditional tattoo. No varying line weights. Unless it's a pin up and you need to do the eye smaller for the mouth, that's it. Everything's the same line weight. When you do that with a mechanical pencil and everything through the design, every line is exactly the same. And you have to do that though. It's not like automated. There's satisfaction in that.
For sure.
You know, I love that feeling.
What kind of mechanical pencils are you doing that are giving you nice bold lines?
I mean, I'm sure you could use any mechanical pencil, but I use number 9.
Okay, that's pretty big.
Well, that's a whole another thing that you nerd out on.
Yeah.
That we nerd out on because we all use paper. Mm-hmm. And man, we'll nerd out on the certain kinds of tracing paper, and there's been tracing paper that's been discontinued, and it's like it's a very specific thickness. It's a very specific texture because it pulls off a certain amount of graphite and it makes them dark or light.
Oh shit,
dude! We'll nerd out on that hard. Or what kind of mechanical pencil it is, or lead, or the graphite or whatever. It'll be number 9 so HB.
Let's do a really good Instagram reel right now. Ready? Mm-hmm. I want you to be like, this is the best, or these are the best products to use for drawing on tracing paper, and then just list it off.
And then name them.
Okay. The best material to make a perfect line drawing would be thick, heavy tracing paper with number 9 HB lead. The mechanical pencil, I don't think matters as much. It's more the lead. It needs to be HB because it's soft. Because those stand for different things. If you have HB, it's hard black. If you have B, black, softer. So the darker it is, the softer it is. It breaks easier, but it'll make a really dark line drawing. But number 9 is like gonna be a big fat
It's your
line.
thickness, yeah. That's what I liked.
You've said too much.
I gave it away.
You fool.
But when I used to use mechanical pencils to do all my drawings and all that, I used to use like, you know, I think I had almost like a 3, like a really tight, you know, I had the same sizes there. Like
I use 5s, 7s, and 9s.
Yeah. I was like, you practice the same thing.
But that, when you're starting out, that gets it ingrained in your mind of different line weights or whatever as you're starting to tattoo. You know what I mean? You want to use the right lead for that design. You want to use the right needle for that design. And you need to hold the pencil at a certain angle to get it to be the right size. You need to hold the machine at the right angle for it to work. You need to hold the nib. That's why I use nibs and not markers, because markers are fine too, but the nib is like
requires the angles again,
and it's round. It has a round tip to it, like a perfectly round one. So you need to pull it around and hold the weight a very specific way, or it's not going to work. Same with a machine. So I feel like those nuanced things are really important in tattooing.
Oh, yeah.
For me, you know, with where you're like really aware of line work. I don't want to know where you stop to start a line.
Man,
No.
there's somebody who I've seen their videos. I wish I knew the name, but all their videos is of them doing like just like what you were describing, like tracing a drawing over like paper, and they're using like a fountain pen, like a thick like nib fountain pen, and they're doing like something that looks like a 14, like perfect, but it's like they have to move in the direction of the nib. If not, that thing's just, it's gonna get thin and it's gonna be done.
Yeah.
And it's like a super thick, like perfect.
Regular
line.
person's not understanding why, you know, like any of that.
Yeah, they're not seeing that. Like the dude, it's like just pulling this, like just to make that perfect box, dude. It's incredible every time I see it. I'm like, damn, that's good.
Have you ever seen any videos by, I think his name is Mohammed Baghdad? He does lettering with fountain pens, and they're incredible. And he just does like one shot, he'll start writing all these things. And he kind of developed a style of like, it's called like a fishbowl lettering, where he'll design whatever he's saying to look like it's in the shape of a fishbowl. So it's like flat on top and then kind of curved in the bottom. And he does like, he'll write like either a word or a couple of words, and then he'll do like the filigree underneath it, all with a pen, no rough sketch beforehand.
Straight
It
in.
is perfect. Perfect. I would recommend checking out his
That's
stuff.
pretty sick.
That's crazy. That's hard.
It is so hard.
That's real hard.
Oh man, there was a dude that I followed like years ago that did something similar with like, he went to the extent of like, he would make his quill, like he would out of wood first. He would make that, and then he would show you like drawing it, and then he would sell the quills that he would make. Like it's like handmade pencil.
Good marketing.
Dude, insane.
That's
good
And like he would do these like wild like it would be words, but then he would also do the flourishes at the end to make it look like it's like a bird, you know, like with just a bunch of flourishes, and you're like, wow, the fuck, dude, this is crazy, dude.
You ever see those guys down on Chinatown that they'll write your name with like all these different shapes and like animals and all that?
Yeah, dude. It was like, man, it's pretty badass.
And it fits in that square perfectly.
Perfect,
too.
dude. Perfect.
Yeah.
It's like people do they do the like a name in a heart of flourishes. You know what I mean? Like really good lettering.
Yeah.
It'll be a heart, and it'll just be a name, but the flourishes make the heart, and those look
And it's like perfectly symmetrical, right?
Yeah, it's like amazing.
It's
I
incredible.
love that. I love lettering.
That was one of my favorite things to do when I first started tattooing.
Yeah, lettering.
Today I did lettering today, and I felt like it took for fucking
It did take
ever,
forever. Dude, you were still tattooing? I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah, dude.
That was pretty detailed though.
Yeah.
And then you
it
went back
was-
and did all the white. That was
There was levels to that.
That
Yeah.
was the thing. It was like it was letters, but everything had like a really nice, perfect like drop shadow. And then within that, there was shading within it. So I had to make sure that I left that little tiny negative space to then put white in that little tiny negative space.
Now I'm going to put you on the spot in front of everybody. How did you design it?
Oh, I found some lettering that I liked. Oh no. And then what happened? I found some lettering that I liked. It was like from, you ever get those ads of like, oh, buy this like font set or whatever.
Yeah.
So I got that font set. I was like, I like that. I gave that to ChatGPT, and then I said, this is the word. And then it started spitting out different versions of it. And then I took one version, I redrew that version.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like that's the easiest way to do it. And I was like, I like that font, but I'm not going to buy this font. I just want like a version of this font.
Yeah.
And I was like, money, dude.
Nice.
It was cool.
Thanks.
It reminded me a lot of like maybe a year or two ago, I was getting emails and DMs nonstop of, hey, I could design your logo.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. I had like a screenshot of one of those things, and I was like, oh, dude, I really like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like
They
thing.
were all the exact same.
Yeah. And I was like, give me that, dude. Give me that. I'll take it.
Grab.
Give me that and I'll take it, dude.
Funny.
Yeah.
So Steadfast, how's it going?
good. I feel like I veered off there with the story about all the needles getting delivered to the wrong place. But the brand, the brand itself out there, there's already a supply. There's one main supply company. in Seattle. And initially when I moved out there, I was like, you should just have a store down here in Tacoma because nobody wants to drive to Seattle from here, like at all. Like I don't know anybody that.
How far of a drive is that?
Depends on when you go, but 45 minutes.
Okay.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not anyone I know drives up there. They don't drive up there. They'll just order it from somewhere else. So I hit him up. Was like thinking like, dude, you should just have a little store down here, or, a little like satellite spot for people to go and pick stuff up. And he never answered me. And then I kind of looked into opening up or having my own brand because I thought it would be cool to have, or initially I was like, just sell other brands. Cause that's what he does. He's not a brand. He's like a distributor for whatever. Tassel and stuff. And I was like, well, maybe I could just sell some other brands down here. And none of them would do business with me because they already were doing business with him. So I was like,
it's too close, right?
Too close. Yeah. And yeah, everyone talked about people guarding tattooing. It's like times that by 1,000 when it comes to supply companies. It's totally different. It's really, really cutthroat and heavily guarded. But then I was like, I just need to start my own brand because there's no brand out here there's just no brand out here. Yeah. They have a distributor, which is cool, but it'd be cooler to have a brand that like kind of encompasses the area a little bit where a brand's cooler. It's just I don't think many people are going to debate that a brand is cooler than just being a distributor for the most part, like, but it's harder because you have to start a new brand that no one knows.
You have to build everything around it. Yeah.
It's really hard. So, but I just took that risk. I was like, I'm just gonna have my own brand, but the brand would be more of there's so many brands now. I just feel like are so over the top, like just really over the top, like all these brands, and there's all these like Amazon brands, and everyone buys stuff on Amazon now, and everything's just. I feel like, you see all these ads, it's like a cartridge flying in, like, it's like just so crazy over the top. It has no substance to it, like, at all. It just seems like another brand. They're all almost the same. Not all of them. There's some smaller companies that I think are really cool, for sure. And they're not way over the top or anything. But now, I feel like every Instagram ad is like, cutting edge technology. Everything's like so cutting edge. Like, dude, stop trying to reinvent the wheel. It's kind of corny, and everything's kind of corny. So I just wanted to be more normal.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel or anything. I just want to do what I do best. I'm really good with customer service and talking to people and taking the time to talk to people and explain things to people or give them my recommendation and all that kind of stuff. Find a good manufacturer. You need a good product, clearly. But beyond that, I didn't want to be like just another brand that's like, we're really cool. We don't care. Just buy our stuff and we're not even going to talk to you. We're not going to answer your emails. I don't know how many supplies I've done that to where they don't care.
Yeah.
I have a problem with this. They don't answer you.
They don't answer.
Yeah. I answer everybody. I answer every message. I answer every phone call. I answer every email. And I always make sure everyone's square. And that's I feel like I'm good at that. And I love talking about tattoo stuff. So.
Yeah.
That's tight.
I just want to do something different.
Yeah, that's rare.
How much of your time is divided between doing all that stuff and tattooing?
I mean, I primarily tattoo now, still, and I will until I die. I want to be one of those tattooers that dies like tattooing or building a machine or something. That's like the best
We
thing
found
ever.
this lifeless body in the machine shop with a
Or it's like Burt
with a
Grimm.
half-milled bulldog frame.
Yeah, it was almost. What was it? One of those tattooers, Burt Grimm or something, or one of those guys died tattooing a Grim Reaper.
Oh shit, that's wild, bro.
Yeah, it's pretty epic though. That's cool. I mean, that's pretty
Dude.
cool.
Over the weekend, I watched a movie called Freaky Tales, which I will recommend to all you guys. It's a little recommendation. Fucking really, really good movie. There's a small scene in it that is. This guy goes into, it's based like in the 80s, right? So this guy pops into a video store and the character that is the video store clerk is Tom Hanks. And the guy's like, I want these movies. And he gives him a list. And then instead of looking at the list, he goes like, what are the top 5 underdog movies? And he's like, I don't fucking know. He's like, I just want these movies. He's like, look, I'm trying to give you an experience here. What are the top 5 underdog movies? And then he starts telling him number 5. And then he starts giving him the information and also getting his movies while he's giving him the information of like the top 5 movies. He's like, oh man, I should watch. And then as he's like telling him about movies and like why that movie's good and why he should watch it and why it's like a unknown, like great hit or whatever, the guy's getting more into the whole like, oh, he's giving me like sick information. He's like, what about number 1? He's like, I'll give it to you after you come back. He's like, oh man. He's like, all right, I'm going to go find my movies. But I feel like that's the difference between like, if you went to like back in the day to like, just like a regular blockbuster kind of chain, dude, that it's like a bunch of people that are just working there. Just like, it's my fucking job, dude. I don't fucking know. Pick a movie. I just want to like charge you. Then if you work at a smaller store where people are actually like, they're like, movie fanatics and they know so much about movies and they're willing to give you good recommendations because they're actually into what they're selling. And I feel like that's huge. And like when you go to like a smaller supply company like yours, where you're like involved, you're like geeking out about all the technical things that you're selling and why they're cool and why they're not, as opposed to like a big company that it's like, dude, I don't even have the time to look at all these emails from all of these people. And I feel like that is so much more of like a personal experience that the person, if you value that, that's where you want to go to get that, you know, and not go to like a big shop and get like a cool experience out of geeking out about the shit we like, you know. If you really like tattoo equipment, and like get it from the right people.
Well, they don't even tattoo. The owner of a supply company doesn't even tattoo.
Doesn't even tattoo.
Hey, you know, it doesn't mean they don't have a good product. I'm not saying that, but I think that's important, you know, if you can do it, if you can keep that alive, I think that you should, you know, but it's, you know, it kind of is what it is. But yeah, there's still some really good machine builders out there. And I feel like people will go out of their way to buy a machine from a machine builder that tattoos. You know what I mean?
Dude, how do you feel about like, do you think that at one point, like machine builders, because I thought about this like not too long ago, how many machine builders are really passing down their like knowledge to like people for new people to carry on?
I'll tell you
yes, that's why. Because not a lot of people care. Yeah. Like new generations don't care about like,
I'm gonna sacrifice my life to build these frames.
I would say,
you know, like it's not happening
like anymore. How many generations we got to there's just like, oh dude, there's like
it's only the nerds that are gonna be that like fucking locked in till we're like, I want to know every aspect of a Coil machine, the history, the frames. I want to know who built them, like what year, how many variants of this one, who remixed them, you know, like who's got the casts of this and what's the replica of that. Like I understand that mentality because I kind of like got a little nerdy about it, but those are the only people right now that give enough shits about, you know, tattoo machines in general nowadays. As far as like
tattoo history too. People will nerd out on tattoo history, but to have it in you to be like, I'm gonna go out of my way to figure out how to build every part of this machine from scratch, like the device and everything, and learn how to mill it all from scratch. I don't know. I couldn't pay someone to be that interested in it. There's no reason. Mm-hmm. I have 2 guys that work for me, you know, that they have a machine shop right next to them. They're never in a machine. But I always make sure, like, hey, you need me to tune that? I like tuning machines. I'm like, hey, you need that machine tuned, dude? I'll tune that.
Well, I think now also with how readily available and easy it is to get a pen style rotary, that people who are just starting to learn how to tattoo, they're getting introduced to tattooing with a pen. And they're not even touching a coil. They don't even know what the parts of a coil machine are.
Plenty of them.
It's the easiest entry in the world.
So they're not getting introduced to that world, and they have no interest in learning anything about it. Let
in
alone
my opinion,
making
they're getting
one.
robbed though.
Yeah,
they're getting robbed. In my mind, I couldn't imagine if I had to tattoo with a pen or a rotary for whatever physical reason. I like tattooing. I'm going to tattoo, but a part of my heart is going to die if I have nothing to do with the coil machine, because it's just, I love them. It's not, and it's always like to be like, oh, this is better, this is whatever, or everybody wants to be mean to each other. It's like, it's not really better. It's not one's better than the other. It's just, what do you like?
Yeah.
I don't know what you like. It doesn't really matter. If you did a good tattoo, you did a good tattoo. At the end of the day, you did the tattoo right. It's solid. I don't care. I love hearing a coil machine run perfectly and smoothly. I love shading, whip shading, get that bog, it's like, and it feels really good. It feels good in your hand, and I feel like you're getting robbed a little bit, and I've done seminars. I've made plenty of tattoo machines. Last summer, not this summer, but last summer I did 40 tattoo machines for 40 different people for seminars.
Oh shit.
Wow.
And a lot of them were people that they work at shops, they've been tattooing for however many years or whatever, have never used a coil machine. And they came to do the seminar to learn about a coil machine, and I had all the parts ready to assemble. I made all of them though. I didn't pre-buy the frames. I made all the frames. I wrapped all the coils. I made everything except for the A-bars and the coils. Mm-hmm. And then we cut the springs, punched the springs. I showed them what's the length of the springs or whatever. We'll do this, whatever, or these geometries will do this, to show them a little bit about a coil machine. And not everyone probably even uses it still. I don't know, but because it's a convenience thing. It's like the debate of like what is better for what, or is this going to be better for this or that? I can make a coil machine do exactly what you're doing if I tune it a certain way. It's not that one's better. It's just convenience, really, is what it is. It's really convenient for me to set the depth on my rotary pen a certain way and turn the speed down or whatever. The only thing you don't have with a rotary pen is that when you turn up the dial, you change the speed. Mm-hmm. And when you do that with a coil machine, you're not changing the speed really, maybe a little tiny bit, but not much. You're changing the power and the force that it's hitting. So it's different. It's way different. But I could do, I'm sure anybody could do the same exact thing with a coil machine that they do with the rotary machine. It's just easier to take out and put a new one in. And that's been the story with every single person that's ever come into the supply shop, where they're like, I'll be like, yeah, let's do a tour or whatever. Yeah, here's a machine shop. They're like, yeah, I used to use coil machines, but I broke a spring and then I just started using a pen because it's easier. I'm like, every single story is like exactly the same. Right. It's just convenient. And I don't blame anyone for that. I'm not like, oh, you're an idiot. I don't care what, it doesn't matter to me, but seems to be the rule of thumb. It's just way more convenient than like having to know all that stuff about a coil machine, or why is this running weird? It's like, oh, you gotta clean your contact. There's a lot of maintenance. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that people don't necessarily want. They don't want machine maintenance or understanding how to tune machine properly to be a part of their pie chart. I don't blame you, because you're trying to make money tattooing. I don't.
Well, to add on to all the people who complain about, I got into tattooing because I want to tattoo. I don't care about making social media posts. I don't care about answering emails. Probably the same thing. I don't care about tuning my machine. I just want to make the art. I just want to do the tattoo.
I want to make this tattoo get paid. Yeah.
Oh. Are you still using steel tubes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel that the plastic disposable tubes change the way that the machines run?
Oh my God. Yeah. Totally different. It's like no comparison. And people right now, what's really popular is the gripless tubes with the stainless steel grip, the twist grip.
I don't know.
You ever seen those?
The twist grip.
You never seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're really popular right now. And I've used to use them back in the day. I would get straight round liners, the flat round liners, and I cut an angle on them and make my own angled rounds because they didn't have angled rounds. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'd make those and then do the twist grip because I didn't have an autoclave. So I understand people don't have autoclaves and stuff, but it's just not the same. Even if you have a stainless steel twist grip, but you're clamping the vise down on plastic, it doesn't matter. It's still, you're clamping it down on plastic. It doesn't. Yeah. It runs totally different. You need to turn your machine up for it to hit. I could turn it. I'd say it's probably a half a volt or a whole volt different force by using plastic or steel. Your steel is going to hit way harder at a lower volt, which is better for your machine. But
is that what just caused because of friction from like the needle, the metal from the needle?
There's a vibration. Yeah. It's a vibration thing, like your machine. And honestly, using a disposable tube, if some people may argue, I would argue, because I've done it, where I had to go do a convention, or I didn't have to go do I did a convention, and I was tattooing, and I had to use disposable everything. And I use disposable to shade, but I use all stainless to line. And my hand hurt a little bit.
Oh, because the weight was all fucked up.
The weight was messed up, and it vibrates way more than if you like for lining, because you're just so, your hand, when you're lining, you're trying to be so precise, and you're really gripping it down, and then like you're on plastic though, it's like not happening. You know, it just vibrates like crazy. And my hand was definitely not, it didn't like hurt, but you know when it starts kind of going numb a little bit, and you're like,
you had that today.
Me today, dude.
yeah. It's because I think your hand's more steady with weight in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been so many years since I tattooed stainless tube on a coil.
All steel on steel.
Yeah. And now after talking to you, I really want to buy another, or at least just get new stuff.
That's the best feeling, man. It's like, I don't know. Nothing compares, really.
To this day.
Yeah.
To this day. You know, like that
Steel
meme.
steel.
Yeah, we got an autoclave. We got an old, like 1970s autoclave still running good. Just got it in the shop running. It's like seafoam green.
I can't use my steel tubes, so I'm using the Dan Cubans, the Swift tips.
The Swift tips.
If not,
That's basically another.
I'd be using my Good Luck irons right now that are just gathering dust.
Yeah, and Lucky's. I will say because I can't sell stainless steel tips that I would want to use, so I just refuse to sell stainless steel tips. I just won't do it. If they're not ones that I would personally use and love and use every day, I just won't sell them. And I would recommend that people just get them at Lucky's. They're diamond tip, and I like the angle round or diamond tip because they're really, really good. And if I can't sell anything to that quality, I just won't sell them. Yeah, the full thing. You could get the grip, back stem.
You're talking about the stem, right? That you could just put it.
I think they're one piece. They sell one piece back stem
that go into the
into the grip.
The twist grip.
You could use a twist grip or the Allen key one.
Okay.
Yeah, they're really good, and they fit nice because not every tip is gonna fit your needles properly. Of course, but perfect ink flow and everything. The steel is thick. You ever use a stainless steel and the tip is like real thin?
Yeah.
Garbage. Got to be thick.
I hate it. And
Garbage.
too much vibration too.
Yeah. I don't know what
Everything
it is. Like,
affects that.
Dringenberg, those were the tips those were like the top tier stainless steel tips. Dringenberg. And then I got some recently because he moved. And I got a few tips and they just kind of weren't the same. I don't know what happened. There was like a big burr on the inside. Like, what do you know when you look?
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to talk crap on Dringenberg.
No. I mean, mistakes
There was a burr
happen.
in there.
Mistakes happen. There was a burr.
Yeah.
We found a burr.
What? Shit, man. What else? What else we got?
I got nothing. I say we're about an hour in. You want to wrap it up? Do an after show?
Let's wrap it up. Let's do the after show.
I feel like we have no conclusion.
I don't think we need one.
Yeah. It's like when I'm listening to a podcast, I'm like, where did it come from? Where did it go?
Where'd it come? Where'd it go? Where did it end?
Yeah.
Shit, man. What would you recommend for someone that wants to get back into the true fucking supplies? You know, somebody that wants to wean off the metal dicks.
They have to be willing to do the pilgrimage.
It's tough. It really is hard when it comes to coil machines because there's just so many different builders and how their machines run, and some people like their machines to run a certain way and whatever. So it is kind of hard. But what I would recommend is if you do have a coil machine that you did like or you use all the time, I would run that on a power supply that has a full readout that tells you the hertz and everything, and run your finger on it and just kind of look at the inspect it to some degree, your knowledge, but having that readout to tell a machine builder is definitely going to help.
Yeah.
Because you need to know the hertz, really. Or I could be like, I could tell you, like, I like my machine to run at this, but you might not like that. You know, it's not there isn't like a universal thing. Like, oh, I need this liner. This is classified as a liner.
Yeah.
Well, you might like a really slow liner. You might like a really fast one. I don't know. I mean, having that information would help a lot. And then if you did get someone to build you a nice machine, you would use it and not just sit in your drawer and be like, this doesn't work. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Well, you need to run it on something to tell you what the hertz is,
Right.
and stuff. You know,
I think that's what makes coil machines scary, dude. No, everybody's like, oh, dude, how many times have you bought machines in the past where you like bought a machine because it looked sick, it sounded great, then you took it to the shop and you loaded it up and you're like, I don't like it.
And then you put it on your power supply and you're like, well, what are you running at?
Yeah, I don't know.
Purple.
Yeah.
It's on magenta.
It's on
like,
magenta.
What the fuck does that mean?
You know what I love about like tattoo machines that kind of like goes in with my like, it kind of like satisfies a little bit of my like collectible and hoarder mentality. Because when you collect different machines, when you just run a machine that you're just like unexpectedly, you know, because we never really buy a machine and drop a couple $100 on a machine if we didn't know it was going to run good. But when we finally run it and we're like, oh crap, this machine's not for me, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't hit my hand speeds, my style, my everything, my application. So you just trade it away to somebody else that is just like, oh, that's my machine.
I like this.
And I was like, perfect. I'll trade you for that other machine. And I feel like I did that a lot with a lot of my machines. There were machines from machine builders that I was like, I would like, I gotta try a machine just because they were like, you know, a year wait for a machine. And I was like, oh, this has gotta be magical.
This has gotta be good.
This has gotta be like Thor's hammer. And then come to find out that it just doesn't vibe with the way that you tattoo.
Yeah.
You always had the option of trading machines, which I always thought was pretty cool.
yeah.
But yeah, I love the aspect of like the coil machines. There's sometimes a little bit of like, even if you kind of like sometimes ask a machine builder and they're like really proficient at making machines and you're like, oh, I like my machines to run slow but punchy. I want it really like just clacking on those coil cores, you know? And they're like, well, how do you tattoo? And then you explain your process. And then, you know, the machine builder has to do his best to interpret that into building you a machine. That shit to me is so freaking cool. You know, even if he doesn't like, sometimes you might not nail it 100%, but then you know how to tune a machine and then you'll just like, you'll mess with it a little bit. Like, which is what I always did. And then I'll be like, yes, I got like the perfect beast in my hand. And now my drawer is like full of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love to be able to switch them out, grab a different machine because I know how differently they act and what they're really good at and proficient at. And yeah, I like that. It's like a freaking like, you know, I don't know. To me, it's still like a samurai warrior that he's just like, all right, what am I gonna like? And I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna harp, and am I gonna like bow and arrow somebody to death today? Am I gonna like, harpoon or spear somebody today?
Choose your weapon.
Am I gonna do the pike today? Am I gonna kill my enemies with the classic like, you know, samurai sword or switch it up? I like having the different tools to get like colorful with like my day and my strategies, and
It keeps it exciting.
yeah, I mean everybody has their like fucking like their daily drivers, right? Which are their machines that are just like, some people only have one. I know a lot of tattooers with coil machines that resemble just like somebody using a regular like rotary machine.
Well, I'll tell you right now.
They'll be like, oh, I don't put this coil machine right here, I don't put this sucker down.
I got a drawer with about 5 or 6 machines in it, and then I got underneath my station a case of maybe like another 10 to 15 machines.
For sure.
I only use one machine.
Exactly.
I use one machine.
Yeah, like that's the one.
That's it.
Yeah. It'd be like,
It works for me. I'm not gonna bother with anything else.
exactly. It'd be like, this one just works. The spring hasn't snapped yet. You know, like it's like, all right.
I do miss
We're gonna
though,
run
like
it.
having. I used to when I traveled and did a lot of tattooing. I traveled with like at least 6 or 7 machines.
Yeah.
Still?
No, not anymore. Now I travel with like 3 rotaries. The one like it's like the backup and the backup to the backup.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
All right.
It's a backup to the backup, and it was nice to kind of just like switch it up, right? Like if you had like if you were lucky enough to be one of those people that has like a really sick car garage, and you're like, oh, today I want to drive that one.
Yeah.
That one's awesome. That one rips, you know? But it's not like that anymore. I just drive a Tesla.
It does it all.
It does it all. It's not very exciting. A bunch of other people have the same one, but it gets the job done. It gets me from point A to point B, you know?
Yeah.
When I want excitement, I ride my motorcycle.
Yeah.
But there's no excitement in the car. It's just like, oh, it just takes me.
The most excitement you get in the car is when you press that fart machine.
yeah. Cool tricks. So like, oh, look what happens. I hit the fart button on this. But I feel like that's you know,
funny.
the most, you know? Like that's the most.
Yeah.
But, what's your thoughts on you guys? You know, what do you guys like to use? How do you feel about tattoo companies and which ones do you like? I mean, we love Steadfast, but
Support tattooer owned.
yeah, support tattooer owned. But we love to hear your thoughts. And most importantly, we would love for you guys to stick for the after show, which we're about to have. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, check that out at patreon.com/honest-tattooer. Sign up to be a Patreon supporter. Any level of support will get you the after show. So just show some love and we'll see you over there.
Yeah. And Frank, thanks so much for coming out and hanging out on the podcast.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you want to hear more, we're going to go to the after show. We'll see you there, guys.
Bye.
Make it easy. Peace.